Hey YouTube, welcome to another crypto market update. This is going to be just for the alts. We did previously make one for BTC, so then that will complement the analysis that we're going to have on our altcoins. So the first one we are going to be looking at is going to be Litecoin paired with US Tether. Now it could be Litecoin paired with the US dollar. Tether is pegged to the dollar, so then the price fluctuations and the price action will be very, very similar, especially when we're looking on the weekly, daily, 4-hour, and even the hour chart. It'll look basically pretty much identical. If you're looking at the 5-minute, 3-minute, really small time frames, yes, there will be some differences, especially if you're using a stablecoin that doesn't have as much volume. That's obviously not ideal for shorter term traders, but for a little bit of a longer term look at it, obviously there's no real difference. So let's jump right into it. Let's identify first just the market structure. Obviously, we are in a downtrend. We are breaking supports, holding resistances. So what does this mean? We can see that the first key level that we can identify, well, there's many, but I'm first going to see that this was a key level of support right here, and it also was a support right here, and we can see it was a resistance. So let's first draw in that zone. Now, just remember, we are not executing off these zones. These are just zones that we're going to have in the back of our minds that we know are going to be either key supply zones or demand zones. So the two zones that I'm going to identify right here are going to be supply zones, meaning that there's going to be sell pressure when the price goes near this zone. And it could be sell pressure, right? All we're doing is playing the game of probabilities. There's no guarantee ever in trading, and all we're doing is making sure that we have the highest possibility chance when we are entering and exiting the trade. So the next level of resistance is going to be around the $65 range. We can see right here, previous resistance, new support, resistance. So those are going to be the two resistances that we're going to be keeping an eye on if we do push to the upside. Now for the downside, where can we see a previous resistance or support? I would say right around here, we can see that it was a previous resistance and it's going to be a new support, which could be another level of support right over here. So now that we have those three key places identified, we can now look to drop a time frame to the daily and then see what's going on. So let's remove all those drawings. Just keeping in mind those price points, we will be able to see it a lot more clear on the daily. But it's always good to start off with the weekly just to understand the bigger picture of things and to really get a good breakdown of the macro momentum and the macro, I guess, trend of the price action, because understanding the bigger time frames will always make you have a better decision. Even if you're not going with the trend, it's good to understand if you are going counter trend, you might want to take some profits a little bit earlier. Just in general, I find that understanding the bigger time frames and then working downward really helps with understanding where the market structure is, especially when you're looking and trying to capture a longer term swing trade. It will be very beneficial. So let's continue on with the daily. So the first thing I see is going to be the descending trend line that is connecting the lower highs. So let's draw in that right now. We will get our trend line and just connect the anchor point, which is right here, and then connect the highs. Let's just move this over a little bit more so we have a little bit more to play with. And that is going to be it right there. We could extend this out to make it a previous support. We can see that right here, but that's totally doable. I will draw the projection probably from here because that's going to be the anchor point, and then I'm going to push it down so it covers this wick and this wick, and we can make it very well respected. We can see right here. So that's going to be the zone right around there. We can make it red, but that's going to be the descending zone, and we see that we got 1, 2 with a huge rejection, 3 and 4 zones well respected. So that can be a zone that we're really using to risk off of. So when it does inevitably actually break this zone, we could use this to push. And then if we do get a retest, obviously that's a phenomenal potential because we see it being so respected. So that's going to be the resistance, the main long-term resistance we will use for this potential trade setup. And then we're going to need to also see a support, which I see right here connecting the lows, creating a descending channel. This is similar to BTC, and let's just draw that in right here. If we connect the anchor point, and I think we could potentially change it so it looks a little bit different. We'll play around with it, right? Because we have to understand where the best fit line is. And we can see first touch point here, we see the wicks protruding out of the zone, but the bodies are not closing. And then we see another point right here, same situation, the wicks below the zone, but we're not seeing the candle close below it, and then we're also seeing a nice touch point right here as well. So that will be our support that we're going to be holding for the descending zones. We will draw our horizontal zones as well, but we're just drawing in our key descending zone, and then we could flare that out a little bit just so we're encompassing this wick here, so we do have a little bit of room for the price to breathe. If it does wick down a little bit more, that's not a problem. So that's going to be the resistance and support in the descending angle. So the next one is going to be our support zone, and I could see right here, kind of the same as BTC, we have the support here around the $50 zone that we identified before, and let's draw our horizontal zone here, and it's going to be just like this. So it is going to be a pretty wide zone, but we can see it was used as a support all along here. When it finally broke, we can see where all the stop losses are and where all the longs got taken out, and then the short sellers attacked the price all the way down, and then we can see it was a previous resistance, new support before making a new high. So that is going to be a bit of a wide zone, but that is going to be the resistance for us that we need to pass within the channel. So we can make that a little bit more refined, maybe down there, but then this one looks pretty good. So we will make this very, very light because that's not an execution. That's just a zone that we know where current supply is, and if we do break above it, that is where potential demand will be if we do break this zone. Now, when we do break it down into the smaller time frames, we will see that same descending projection similar to BTC. So we will get into that on the smaller time frames. But in this situation, because of this resistance, like we could still see a pretty good pump, and that would be a pretty solid trade. 12% is pretty phenomenal, obviously, and if you're risking not a lot, it's really good. I do have exposure on the long side already, not just with BTC, but with an alt as well. And to be completely honest, Litecoin does follow BTC to a point where I just rather trade BTC because of liquidity, and there are obviously times when BTC pumps and Litecoin does not, more time than when Litecoin pumps and BTC does not, in my opinion anyways, just from being in the markets every single day. So that's why I like to trade more BTC than less Litecoin, but I like trading altcoins that are a little less correlated. Like I find Link is very uncorrelated with BTC compared to other alts, so I do like trading that, as well as the major small caps. Atom, ETC, Matic, all those are pretty well uncorrelated with BTC in some circumstances. If BTC absolutely dumps, yes, almost all the altcoins will follow, but having the ability to trade an asset that isn't directly reflected the exact price action as Bitcoin is very handy in the crypto market. So let's continue on with the analysis from the daily, now jumping to the 4 hour because we did our analysis on the daily here. So this is the trend line we can see right here, and it even connects to the anchor point at the top here, and it's very, very similar to Bitcoin's price action. This is going to be the anchor point, and when we draw our trend line, we can touch this point right here as well as this point right here. And what we're also going to draw is a projection zone very similar to BTC as well, where we're going to close the gap of the wick right there. Obviously this will have to be red, and let's just send that to the back, and then our line will also be red as well because it is going to be a resistance. So it's similar price action to BTC. We do see a key level of resistance from this previous market structure low, and it's actually very, very similar to Bitcoin. When we actually look at it, we can see that it did build a base here, and we can even see the reverse head and shoulders, although in my opinion it is a bit of a descending zone like that with the left shoulder, right shoulder. But with the current price action, we do see that there is a level of buyers right around here. So that's where I'm looking to potentially risk off of if I was actually entering this trade. I don't have any trades on Litecoin right now, so I'm not going to say I am. But this is how I would play it. We have the descending zone of support, and we also have a horizontal zone of support that is creating our base for this current bullish push. Now we did see a decent amount of buy volume initially with this push, and they got rejected down, and we're not seeing a lot of buy volume in this current little push. Now it could mean that we are getting a pullback. That's not a problem, but let's jump to the 1 hour to really see the granular details of what's happening on these smaller time frames. So now on the 1 hour, we can see, yes, it did break, and we even got a retest. We can see right here, very, very precise. We tried to get a push up, could not. This candle does indicate that there's bullish pressure pushing the price up. This is sell pressure because it pushed the price down, and then we pulled back a little bit, and then this was the first impulse push. Tried to pull back, could not. The bulls were strong, and then pushed the price right up. Let's get our arrow. pushed the price right up, and then now we had a little retest, not much sell volume, which is good to see. The next candle had a surge in buy volume, which is good for the bulls. And we can see right now we are holding the previous resistance, so this is going to be right here. Little tiny resistance, nothing really to talk about too much. We can see that it was respected kind of all along here, but there's not a whole lot to talk about. It's still slowly climbing up, the same as BTC. I would not be surprised if we did get a pullback to validate this support again. Looking on the 4 hour, I think that could be a possibility because we haven't really seen a validation from the 4 hour yet. And the key place that we want to be looking at if it does pull back is going to be the descending projection, but also the horizontal zone. You can see all throughout the December 3rd to 5th area. All along here, we see the buyers pick it up every single time the price comes around this zone. So we know that it's a demand zone and we know people are looking to buy around here. So then if the price does slowly start to fall this way, we have a confirmation of a break in the descending projection, giving us an indication that it could be a shift in trend, and we're just coming back so the buyers can enter one last time before all the FOMO begins when the price really starts to push up, because we got a confirmation of a break in the projection zone. So that's what I'm looking for Litecoin right now, and then if we do actually have that occur, this zone is going to be the key level of support. And if we do break it, obviously we will be going to the descending zone, exactly like we're talking about with Bitcoin. But it is a little bit off because Bitcoin's is a little bit closer come to the zone of confluence or BTC. But for Litecoin, we would have to definitely go a little bit further ways in order for the price to actually hit the confluence zone, which is here. And I don't think that long push that's like very consolidated slowly up will actually happen. Obviously it can in times, but the price moves pretty aggressively compared to what we could be looking for around here. So right now I am not really taking any trades on Litecoin. It does look pretty good because it did break the descending resistance, but for now I'm just going to sit on my hands on this alt and just trade BTC because it looks to me like a better situation to be in. So we're going to keep it a little bit shorter today. It's getting pretty late on the Friday night here, but I hope you guys enjoyed the altcoin analysis. If you would like to have a pair looked over by us, feel free to drop a comment below and we'll be happy to possibly provide it within the next crypto market update. As always, if you like the videos, please subscribe, turn on notifications if you'd like to get notified when we post a video. We post pretty frequently, and like always, if you would like to join our cryptocurrency community with over 1,000 members, the link will be in the description below. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend and are well rested for the upcoming awesome trading week within the crypto market. And it's going to be an exciting one. BTC did break a key level of resistance. We could see some more buy volume come in as long as it holds above. Lots of interesting things coming into play. So until next time, happy trading.